Hey everyone, I've been asked by a few learners to do reviews on the smaller, cheaper bikes instead of just going for the big ones all the time. So this is the first in a series of learner bike reviews. Have a look, see what you think, and even if it's not for you, just remember to like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. This is the Kymco Pulsar 125S. It's not Chinese, it's one of the Taiwanese bikes that used to be owned, the company used to be owned by Honda in the 70s. They broke away in the early 70s to make their own bikes, and then they now make the 300cc scooter engine for the Kawasaki. So if you see the Kymco 300 scooter, it's also the same as the Kawasaki 300. Rear shocks have got a little reservoir on them. I don't think it does too much, to be honest, because the suspension does seem quite soft. But the beauty of this, it's got a gear position indicator on it, it's got a rev counter, and it's got a fuel gauge. So it's got everything that a bigger bike has got. The only thing that you have to remember on this is that the miles an hour is on the inside and the kilometers an hour is on the outside. Usual sort of switch gear, press to cancel indicators. The choke doesn't do the job very much, but it just knocks the engine up enough to get it started when it's cold. Emergency engine kill and the light switches. This bike's a 2015 model, which is a 65, which was registered after September 2015. And it's not a bad looking bike. It's a cheaper alternative to the Yamahas. These are only something like £2,200 new. Disc brake front, drum brake rear. Let's go and see how it rides. So the indicators click. You can only just hear them, but they are a good reminder really. The dials are really well laid out. And even though it's bright sunshine, I can still make out the gear position indicator. Clutch is nice and smooth. Gears are very good. Throttle response is quite good as well. I don't know whether it's all Kymco's, but this engine just sounds a little bit almost like piston slappy or main bearing. But it is fine, it's done that since new. We're in a 60 limit, so let's open it up. 40. I'm in 5th gear anyway. You can tell you're in 5th on this without looking as well, because when you move your foot up on the gear lever, it's springy rather than resisting, ready for the next gear. Mirrors are really good. Once they're set up okay, you don't see too much of your elbow in them. Throttle's nice and light and smooth. The riding position's lovely. I found on this one that the front brake has got a warp in it. I don't know whether that's common on these bikes or not, but I'm pretty sure that you could knock it back out. Okay, ease it down, doing 30 now. 5th gear, so going into a 30. The clocks are a little bit more difficult to read on speed because it was made for the non-UK market, so the outside is actually kilometers per hour and the inside is miles per hour. But that's not a major issue. Once you know, it's not a problem. All the switch gear is pretty intuitive. Manual choke, which doesn't do a massive amount, but it just puts enough choke on to start it when it's cold. But it's not one of these ones where it races. The back brake is a drum, so using both the brakes first of all, I can feel the warpage on the front, and then use the back only. It's not super sharp, but you do get quite a bit of feel from it, which is nice. Kymco aren't Chinese. They're actually Taiwanese, and they used to belong to Honda until the early 70s, and then they broke away to start their own company. They currently make the 300cc scooter engine for the Kawasaki 300. So if you see the Kymco 300 scooter, it's exactly the same engine as the Kawasaki, which has a Kymco engine. I've found that I've been using 2 of the little Agility 50s. You'll see one of my reviews on the Agility 50 that I did quite a while ago, and I've had those for 7 years now and they're fantastic. Same with this, the build quality is really good. a little bit vibraty. It's not as quick as some of the bikes. It tops out at redline at about 58 miles an hour. If you really wanted to change the speed, you could always drop the size of the sprocket on the back and get another 5 miles an hour out of it, but for what I use it for training, it's brilliant. The clutch is smooth and light, the engine's reliable, starts first time every time. So if you're thinking of getting something like a Kymco Pulsar, then I would recommend it. The only problem that I've had from this is when I first got it, is at the back of the ignition the wires snapped off. The solder was a bit of a problem, but that's the only problem I've had with this. Watch it go and blow up on me now. But being a 125cc, it's a perfect commuter. They're not expensive to buy new, so second hand they'll be even cheaper. Things to look out for, of course, is your usual crash damage. High mileage examples might not be too bad, but it might be worth taking the oil filler out, the dipstick, and having a look at the condition of the oil and just see if it's been regularly serviced, because these engines do take a lot of strain and stress because they're always high revving to try and keep up with the traffic. So I hope this helps a few of you who may be worried about buying a Kymco. I've personally found with all the years, watch, it's coming out, there we go, all the years I've been dealing with them, I've not really had a problem at all. Just as reliable as the Japanese bikes we get. Okay, see you later people, bye bye.